Hello, everybody. This is Marlon, and you're listening to the Ashita no Anime Podcast number 8. Today, I am back again with Eric. Hi, Eric.
Yo, I'm going to be doing this podcast with as little energy expenditure as possible.
And with that, we are going to be talking about Hyouka. That was a good starter. I like that. Did not see that one coming.
I do what I can.
So yeah, I just got done with the last post that I did for Ashita no Anime was my Anime of the Year post, and I decided after looking over everything that I've written this year and doing a little bit of catch-up work over the holidays that Hyouka came in at number 3 for Anime of the Year for me. I really enjoyed Hyouka a lot. It was there were a few moments that they had its ups and downs, and there was some downtime that I love the downtime too, but it just kind of it wasn't perfect. So in that way, it kind of illustrates to me, I think, how I think that 2012 was not nearly as good as 2011. 2011 had better anime in it, personally, I think, on average, but so that the abundance of 9 out of 10s in my top 5 this year kind of put that in reference for me because um, some people say that anime has been declining over the years, and I say no, it's just been getting better and better. And well, I'm gonna have to concede a little bit of a decline of the past year, but anyway,
Yeah,
Hyoka.
you go ahead and do that.
Anyway, Hyoka. I loved Hyoka. It was this is how I like to describe Hyoka to people. I say anime does the detective genre, the mystery genre, very poorly on average. And Hyoka is kind of like finally a mystery anime done right. That's how I describe Hyoka to people because when I was a kid, I grew up with reading little kids mystery novels. I grew up with was it Boxcar Children and all kinds of different mystery little novels for kids. And so I never really got into like Sherlock Holmes or anything. I was never into classic mystery. Never really got into that as far as that goes. But I do like mystery. It's not a genre that I hate. And when it's done poorly, it gets on my nerves. And I think Hyoka finally is the anime that does mystery well. What do you think?
Um, I guess I can. Yeah, I'll start with that. I um I actually started reading mysteries pretty early too, but I never really read the kid mysteries. I actually jumped mostly into Sherlock Holmes. So for me, mysteries generally revolve around like murder investigations or something or some such. So when you told me that this was a mystery, I initially had I had some doubts. It I came in expecting something completely different, and it really surprised me with just how much heart it has. I actually think that despite the fact that I didn't see every clue coming, I think that it's a very well done mystery series. It's just incredibly Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. So, you made it up to episode 5, so you know what the meaning of the title is now, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that was good. I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here, just because I think this is some interesting trivia. So, skip the next few minutes if you want to save this for yourself. But uh, this is something I'm the same way. I didn't really get the full answer on all of the um, mysteries in Hyouka, but one of the early ones that really snagged me in because I'm currently studying Japanese was the meaning of Hyouka as the title of the anime. And so by about episode 3, I had actually gone and read in a dictionary and Japanese English dictionary and gotten some little bit of background, and the word Hyouka means ice cream. And there was this whole thing going on with Chitanda's uncle and him being scapegoat and all this kind of other stuff going on. And I was really thinking, wait a second, ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. You know that it's old. It was a commercial, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know about commercial, but
That saying. I don't
it
know.
is an old thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old saying, and of course that it's ingrained in the English culture to learn that at some point when you're a kid. So hearing I scream, ice cream, uh, when I made that connection, when I realized that Hyouka meant ice cream, I was just like, is that possibly what that could mean? Like, did I figure that out already? And when the reveal came in episode 5, it was like, yes, pat myself on the back for that. But
That's that's actually that's something I really think makes it a better mystery series than I'm giving it credit for, and why I say it's incredibly Japanese. There's also the quote unquote mystery with the book that's constantly being checked out for a couple hours every Friday. In that this is something that would be really familiar with the Japanese audience. The clues are all there. One of my major issues with so many mystery series everywhere is that the solutions revolve around information that's been hidden from the viewer, just to make the protagonist or the antagonist, as it may be, seem incredibly smart. So it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming because I possibly couldn't have, and so now that he has figured it out in my place, it's like, oh, okay, that's cool, that makes sense.
it's so
Um,
immersive. There's nothing to get the viewer invested in it unless there's some other aspect of the anime that can draw people in. The mystery doesn't draw people in those kinds of anime.
yeah, it's and Hyouka is very much centered around the minutiae of going to a Japanese high school with their different club structure and everything. And I can actually really respect that. Like, I know that I've gone on record and saying that I don't like Japanese high school bullshit in my animes. I think that this might be one of the few examples, which also kind of makes sense because I would bet about $500 that it's from the same team that did the Haruhi Suzumiya series.
All right, now I'm gonna have to look this up. Keep
Don't bother.
talking.
It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's why I would $500.
Don't put me on suspense like that because now you're gonna make me actually do the research.
No, it is. That actually, there was the kid who was smoking in the early episode, and where they actually got the volumes, which I think was episode 3, actually.
Yeah.
Um, he looks exactly like the crap, I forgot his name. Uh, characters. The male character who isn't Kion.
Oh, Koizumi.
Itsuki. Yeah.
Koizumi Itsuki. Yeah.
So, that's when I looked up who was actually directing it, and it's the same guy who did Haruhi Suzumiya, which I also enjoyed.
Indeed. Yeah.
No.
You also kind of look to the art style as well as being very similar to Suzumiya Haruhi as well. I think
Yeah.
it's got that Kyoto animation, that signature style. What do you think about the style? We've talked many times about style. This is the kind of art style of anime that I love. I mean, of course, style does have something to do with the nature of the anime too. I can't possibly imagine this style being used for an anime that doesn't have this kind of personality. I mean, you can have a disconnect between the style and the tone, and I think this style matches the tone well. But just from an aesthetic standpoint, not really thinking about the story. This is what I find most among the most beautiful of anime. What's your opinion on this kind of stuff?
Uh, my opinion is that it's kind of twofold. The characters all have really similar facial structures and body types, and that really annoys the ever living hell out of me. That's just bad character design, and given if you do like a shadow test, it's not good, not good at all. But then the animators spent a lot of time building in a lot of details into the hair, which is like amazing. And where a lot of other series and character designers would just give characters differently colored hair to make them stand out from one another, this one obviously went the extra mile. So, well, the body structures really annoy me. I find it absolutely fascinating that they put so much detail into something that's so important.
They came up with so they you're saying that they came up with a unique way of making the characters their own designs, their own shapes, their own personalities, but but they didn't go all the way with it. They didn't
Yeah,
go far enough maybe.
yeah, yeah. That would be pretty good. And I think that if I went back to Haruhi Suzumiya, I'd probably have the same problems with the character design and animation. So I'm not terribly bothered by this, I guess.
Okay.
Like this is not a series that well. Actually, yeah, I would watch this for the animation because then in every episode they do something like completely different with their flashbacks and their talking about the actual mysteries, where it goes into completely different styles and it's always new and innovative. It's actually an artistically gorgeous anime. It's just the character designs are kind of bleh.
So I've had some people comment to me that they didn't really particularly care for Chitanda's character design. They say it's almost cliched at this stage in storytelling to have a character that with a catchphrase like that. She's always saying, she pretty much says it in every episode. Watashi kini narimasu. I'm curious. I want to know more. I have to investigate it. Take your pick as to how exactly you want to translate that.
Right.
But what's your opinion on that? Was that a turnoff for you to have this heroine that has a catchphrase, or is it for me? I've said many times that I am a Moe fanboy, and this is as close to Moe without crossing over into the Moe zone as I would say anime can get. What is your opinion on the catchphrase?
Oh no, she's definitely Moe. She's definitely Moe. But that said, I would be more annoyed if they all didn't have their catchphrases. Like, I really should just have the names. Yeah.
Satoshi, Oreki, Mayaka, Chitanda.
Yeah, no, they've all got catchphrases. Mayaka calls Areki hen, or weird, as it were. Satoshi says that he's a database, and so he can't come up with any solutions on his own. And Hotaro, his entire thing is that he's going to do it. He's going to live his life as low energy as possible. And they repeat these at least once every time that they're on screen, generally. Although Miyaka hasn't said hen in an episode or two. But regardless, they've all got their catchphrases and their little character idiosyncrasies. It's a pretty classic way. Excuse me. It's a pretty classic way, actually, of giving everyone characterization.
Yeah, I think that what was it? Uh, I often admit to my own laziness, so I really identified with Oreki right off the bat in this anime. Um, I find that whenever there's a character in an anime that I immediately relate to, it immediately makes the anime that much more enjoyable for me because I can kind of put myself into that character's shoes at some point, at certain points in the anime, and it kind of gives me a good chuckle as to kind of seeing my own idiosyncrasies put on display in certain ways. Even like really silly anime. Like right now, there's an anime that's currently airing called Girls in Panzer. It's about girls who engage in tank warfare, and one of the characters is has a really hard time waking up in the morning, and so do I. I hate mornings. I'm not a morning person, and because I can identify with that one character trait, I have continued watching the anime, even though it's not very good. And just seeing those do you ever have any moments like that where you identify so strongly with a character that you kind of forgive some of the anime's problems?
I can't. Just thinking off the top of my head, I can't really say that I've ever seen that in an anime.
Where you identify with a character really strongly?
Yeah. Um.
Hmm.
No, I can't.
That happens to me almost once a season.
Well, A, you watch like infinitely more anime than I do, so you've seen a lot more, so you've probably got that basis for it, but I don't know. And that's only ever really happened to me with a single book, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And I did forgive a lot of that book's flaws.
Nice, nice. Okay, so we've got something figured out there. Um, So we talked about the mystery side of Hyouka. We talked about the high school drama side of Hyouka. Um, there's one more side of Hyouka that I kind of gravitated to in that there's also a romance side of Hyouka. It's not played up very strongly. It, it, it gets a lot more attention in the final episodes.
Yeah,
But um,
that's
what is your feeling about at this stage? You can pretty much even like almost pretty much from like episode 1 or 2, you can immediately see the intended romantic pairings of
oh
Chitaka
yeah.
Moreki and Mayaka and Satoshi. What's your reaction to that? I mean, just there's no rivalry, there's no mystery it's a mystery anime, but there's no mystery as to who the romantic interest should be. What's your reaction to that?
I would actually say that Um, the romance is probably one of the largest part, actually, and I'd mostly say that because the mysteries are so mundane and kind of boring. But I don't know. I still haven't run into an anime that's ever done romance properly. So it's not. It's never my favorite part of anything. But then maybe I'm just non-romantic. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to when it finally gets more focused on. Let's just say that.
I would say that it only gets marginally more focused on it than it currently is. The mystery side and the telling the story about living their lives in high school is predominantly the most important part of Hyouka. That is what it plays to. I'd say that the romance side is very much played down, even when it starts to grow a little bit bigger towards the end,
Right.
like I said. So,
I
do you have any other thoughts about Hyouka that you wanted to share?
man, I really wish I could. Like I was telling you before this that I wasn't. I'm still to this point not entirely sure of where I stand on the series. Like I can see its quality. I know it's good. Um, and it's not for everyone, and that's the thing. It's not like Excel World or Samurai Girls where I can say, okay, this is not good, and it's very clearly not for me. But this is exceptionally well done, high school romance and high school minutiae, and it's very clearly not for me. So, I mean, I can suggest it to certain people, and probably actually the audience of your blog would really love this. But yeah, it's this is not a thing that this is not a thing that generally draws me. That said, I'm probably going to continue watching this until I get like super bored of it.
Well, if you like what it is now, you're probably, let's see, there is a low point, I think, coming up in the next arc, maybe. If you can get past that, I think that you'll probably watch the whole series then.
I may be
I
able to
think
power through it.
the next arc is probably the lowest point in the series, in my opinion. So that's kind of another little point against it as to why I didn't call it a perfect anime. Is it it had its low point pretty early on.
Ooh. Mm.
More than
Yeah,
halfway through, it had its low point, and then
I
I think it picks back up again really really strongly in the second half.
yeah, I'll just have to keep going then. See if I can power through it.
All right, cool. Um, I don't really have a whole lot more to say about Hyouka. Like I was kind of already saying, um, it's it's just so well done in that um, it's well done in the ways that you expect something well done to be well done. So you can kind of I think we've already kind of pointed out those areas as well. Um, what do I want to say? I'm just kind of rambling here now. The music, the opening and ending theme, I thought they were very beautiful. They kind of set the tone.
Yeah.
I still listen to the tracks constantly every once in a while when I feel like, you know what, I want to listen to Hyouka right now. I'm a very big anime music buff. I pretty much only listen to anime music now.
Oh, that's okay. I pretty much only listen to video game music, so
Well,
it's not
I
like I
listen to
don't
video
understand.
game music too.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like exceptionally well done and polished. It's a very good thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was very popular.
Something interesting that I recently found out when I was reading Anime News Network for their Anime of the Year postings is that of everything that was pretty popular that made big headlines as far as like American audiences go in 2012, Hyouka is one of the anime that has not been licensed yet. So there's currently nobody that is going to be bringing it to America.
That doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, you were saying that it has a very it has was it strong Japanese references.
It's very much centered around being Japanese in a Japanese high school. So yeah, like the mysteries all revolve around the club structures and the things that clubs do in Japan, which since you and I have both been in American high schools, we can say that American high schools do not do those things.
No, but I like I said, like everybody knows by this point, I currently live and work in Japan, and I have seen some of that drama to some extent in the junior high school that I work at. Um, so I can kind of I can testify a little bit from a first-hand experience that there is some truth in the culture that gets portrayed through anime. There, I think that it just goes to show that no matter what you're looking at, there's any kind of work of fiction still has to have some kind of grain of truth to it. Something has to have some basis in reality. And and when the more serious I think it is, the more serious drama it is, I think the more that you can take away from it as a true tool to learn about Japanese culture. And from that aspect, I think Hyouka does that very well. It has a lot of truisms in it that, well, definitely played up for dramatic intent. You can definitely learn about what Japan is like by watching Hyouka.
I would actually say that of all the anime I've ever watched, this is probably the truest, actually.
Oh gosh, I can't think of another one off the top of my head at the moment, but yeah, this is of recent anime. This is definitely probably the best example. You probably can't go with a better anime from the past few years that exemplifies true Japan. I get little surprises like that every once in a while where because I've watched so much anime, I'll experience something over here and it's just like, yep, sometimes you can learn stuff things from anime. I get it constantly people telling me back when I was in the States, they were saying, "Don't learn Japanese by watching anime. You're not going to learn real Japanese." And they're so wrong. You can learn Japanese by watching anime easily. You just you just got to pay attention. Well, like any other learning tool, it's not perfect. Like you have to you have to experience it from many different angles to learn a language, to learn about a culture. And I think that anime can definitely be used that way. Definitely Hyouka is a good example of that. Anything else you wanted to contribute? Anything else that I have percolated in your mind that will be interesting?
As it pertains to Hyoka, not especially. I think I've actually gone into everything I have to say about it.
All right, so this will be a little bit shorter podcast than the past few ones have been, but yeah, Hyouka was good. I think that if you like serious dramas, if you like mysteries, Hyouka is going to satisfy in a lot of different ways. So thanks for listening, everybody. This has been Marlon and Eric. And if you want to get in contact with me and do a podcast together, I'm always eager to talk about, and it's about anything that has to do with anime, anything that has to do with Japan, questions, commentary, problems. Just get in contact with me. Leave a comment to the YouTube video, comment in the blog post, shoot me an email. Get in contact, and if you got something to say, we'll do a podcast for it.